We thought it'd be good to bring a few customers on stage as we're sort of going through this to tell their sourcing story and their journey. So I'd love to welcome Neil from Uber to join us, who runs their strategic. Hey, green is go.
Excellent. Hi, good morning, everyone. Neil Aronson. Been with Uber for a little under 2 years now, so my role is responsible for the global sourcing team. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about our sourcing story. So I started in mid of 16, and I'll talk you through 17 and 18 and what we're doing beyond. When I first joined, we had six headcount, most of which were in the US. I had one individual in Amsterdam who had just been hired. So the whole team was relatively new. I'm going to talk through people, process, technology. I know it sounds somewhat cliche, but I mean, it really starts with the people, and to hire the right team to manage this really made a lot of sense. And so I was lucky and fortunate enough to have key leadership positions filled when I had joined in the marketing space, places space, which is really construction, real estate, and facilities management, and then in the IT space. And so from then, we kind of grew the team to 20 in where we are currently today. And I structured the organization similar to a Salesforce or really any global company these days, where the global folks sit in the US who own the global category strategies, and we hired in region in one of each main facilities. So in my case, Singapore, India, Mexico City, Brazil, and Amsterdam to really take those global strategies, implement at the local level, and then take anything that's incremental or net new within region that made sense from a local standpoint. But really, we focused on process in 2016 and 17 as it relates to building a sourcing guideline. So before, there was really no engagement model. The team was super strong with deep category expertise, and so it was inherent that they had built great relationships with some of the leaders early on, but there was no model. And as our company grew, it became more and more important to really build that foundation to help us scale and halfway through 17 and beyond. And so we put together sourcing guidelines, policies, and really rolled that out to the greater organization. We also met with our CFO and outlined a savings methodology that really articulates how do you define cost savings, how do you define P&L savings, and does it flow to the bottom line, which we actually didn't. We classify it that way, but we actually never reduce budgets just because it drives somewhat the wrong behavior with our stakeholders. And so we initially wanted to have great interaction, drive savings, and let the business reinvest if that's what they want to do. If they want to take money from their budgets, so be it, but we weren't going to push that fact. So a lot of process building in 2017, and then we used technology to help drive all that. So we started with Scout. Actually, I started using Scout back in 2014 when I was at Salesforce. Fantastic tool then, even better today. So rolled that out globally and up and running within pretty much a day. I think everyone's a user here, so you know how easy it is to use. Our customers love it, or our stakeholders love it, our suppliers love it, and it's easy to use internally. So we're using it for that purpose solely. We were, however, using Salesforce for different areas. At Uber back in 16 and 17, we have a close relationship with our business development folks where we leverage the supply base both on the buy and sell side. And so they were all using Salesforce to manage their leads and accounts, so it made sense for us to use it. I'll talk a little bit about 18, why now we're going to be evaluating Scout's solution to help manage all of the pipeline intake forms along with the sourcing piece today. So that's kind of 17. It was really around building the process and the foundation for scale and letting us engage and drive deeper savings in engagement with the business. So you can see our technology suite here really was around Salesforce, Scout for RFPs, and we use Spring CM for a CLM solution. So 18, this really is going to be a year around driving more value. So savings are table stakes. I think every sourcing organization is going to have a savings goal, whether it's cost avoidance, revenue generating, or cost savings. But at the end of the day, I look at that as that's just doing our job. And so how do we show value beyond savings? I think we're going to start moving into more of an SRM, formal program to help show that value. Similar to what Alex talked about too as it relates to that the sourcing report. That's kind of why we look at using Scout across all areas of our technology so we can get that one comprehensive look. Right now I have to go into Salesforce, I have to go into Spring CM, I have to go into Scout RFP on the sourcing side. And putting all that together, while it's possible, it's a little kludgy. So it's much easier to leave it in one. Although I wouldn't be doing my profession justice if they didn't have to earn it. So right now we're evaluating all those tools. But where's Alex? Alex's point earlier, you're right. So ever since I was at Salesforce, when we as customers ask for features and for product enhancements, pretty much see everything over the evolution. So we appreciate that support, and that's another reason why I'm going to evaluate these tools, because I do believe that Scout listens and they really do modify their products appropriately. So again, 18 really is a year around looking at technology to streamline our operations and really show that value. And SRM, I know it's live today. We've actually seen some demos, and we've seen we do have access to the test environment. It's pretty slick. Again, just like their sourcing product, super easy to use. We've looked at many tools at this point, and although they're all powerful, sometimes it's just too much, whereas Scout is, again, just like the sourcing module, super easy to use, easy to follow, stakeholders like it, the functionality is exactly what we need, and so we're gonna evaluate that and see how we move forward in 2018. And so this is potentially how the technology stack could look as we move forward. So this year is really around scale and using technology to help drive that scale and standardization across our product suite. I don't know that we have time for Q&A, but if you guys have any questions around the product suite or just in general around the Uber story, be happy to have a discussion offline.